Alright, everybody, welcome to Motel Hot Tub. Back with another episode after a
hiatus. Yeah, we were all
in long hiatus.
Yeah, we were all in medically induced comas. We couldn't deal with COVID, guys.
You guys were just in your training arcs. You were off training, doing your own thing.
Go on, you gotta introduce yourself.
Oh, well, sorry, guys. Hi, I'm Keegan. I'm one of the new hosts here with these bad boys over here. So yeah, they're off. They all went off and got more strong, and then they found me, and they're like, "Hey, you should come hang out with us and do this." And I was like, "Okay."
We found him at the gas station.
Yeah, they found me at the gas
for Dr.
station.
Pepper.
We pay him $1 an hour to do this.
I'm getting paid for this. I thought I was getting paid in Dr. Peppers.
We find them
We'll
at
get
work
one.
for hire
You have
place.
to make 4 episodes.
You gotta make 4 episodes to get a Dr.
Get
Pepper.
1 16-ounce Dr. Pepper.
Hired him from a temp agency.
Yeah.
The intern.
We heard this guy from a 10 pages.
Why don't you go cut us some apple slices, Keegan? Go blow some eggs for the boys.
Yeah, he was just looking for 4 hours of work this week.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to him.
He's gonna be on the...
Wait, guys, I didn't clock in today. Wait, it's like,
We'll
wait.
figure that out later. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
we'll send over your timesheet.
Your W-2s in the
I was gonna say, can I get a W-2, please?
Alright, so everyone knows that the flagship series on Motel Hot Tub is our road infrastructure offerings, where we talk about why the road infrastructure is not up to par in the United States. So today is episode 2 of that journey to a more walkable United States. So let's jump right into it.
The squeak wool.
The squeakle, dude. Episode 2. Alright, so this is a palette setter for this episode.
Dude,
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's blue.
Well, yeah, why is it blue?
So this is like a lot of these.
Everything was blue in the 80s.
I found this really good presentation. So a lot of these are screen captures from that presentation.
Okay, that
which
makes
is
a
why
lot
they
more
look-
sense.
Yeah, you'll see the guy on the bottom in some of them where he's like just kind of chilling,
What?
like talking about his slides. But the thing I want you to pay attention to here is, what do you all think of the parking lot to building ratio here?
Well, first off,
that's
is
the-
this like Detroit or something like
This
that?
is-
Like, what's going on here?
This is an
Houston.
old photo of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Is this
I
one
didn't
from the
even look at
80s,
that, wow.
70s or 80s?
So is
I
this
think?
Detroit in the corner?
I had no idea. I was not paying attention. I was so entranced. I was like, why is there like no building?
blue.
There's no buildings because they have all the, like, for every building there's a massive parking lot.
It looks
So
like
right
after-
here, look at how many parking lots there are for these 2 buildings. There's
But
1, 2,
here's
3,
also
4,
we have to
5
think about.
squares.
How much do you have to pay to park in those parking lots? Because I know that the city of Houston, probably any big city, you have to pay for parking.
Dude, it's the #1 parking destination in the world.
Houston?
Yeah, bro.
Really?
Everyone goes there to park,
Just to
bro.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I would just drive down there.
Go to
Me
the
and the wife,
bathroom.
and I would just go park. Just go park for a week.
It looks
I
like
loved
after-
it. I loved it.
Yeah, people would set up like tents and stuff, like in the parking lot.
That's crazy. Could you imagine right before they drive? You know how people like camp out before like something opens, like to be the first people there. Imagine if the people were camping outside of a parking lot just
a modern day.
just to get a parking spot.
It's a modern day campground, dude.
Park my car there and leave forever. Just leave the
We don't
car.
need the phone.
I can't lose this spot, man.
Everyone in Houston gets excited when a new lot opens up. Like the whole city comes out for it.
It looks like after a nuke hit, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
looks
say.
horrible.
I really thought there was like.
You know
I
what I
thought
mean?
this was like a picture of like a city after a nuke hit or something. I was like,
It's like rebuilding phase.
I was like,
This is a city after a nuke.
I was like, wow. I was like, Kyle really hit us with the palate cleanser. Hit us with the nuke building.
Well, I gotta check real quick to make sure. Okay, the audio's rolling. We're good.
That's good.
Thank God.
All right.
Thank God I didn't want to redo everything.
Do you think ours is picking it up? It's kind of far away.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it's
It'll do.
yeah.
Okay.
We gotta work with what we got,
just
man.
scream.
You
Try
gotta
to move her
talk.
just a
You
little
just
bit
gotta talk
closer.
Hey, you gotta
really
talk
loud.
loud, dude.
Yeah.
We know it.
Next.
Next.
I'm up the sensitivity a little bit.
Oh, Kyle, quit touching me like that.
All right.
Jake's sensitivity.
So that's the palette setter for episode 2 of Road Infrastructure.
Good palette. Oh, there he
Alright,
is.
here's
What's the
another-
guy's name? Can we get a name?
I don't know, dude.
That's
He's a real one though.
Dude, why
This
does
is
this look like the
That's
Costco
Mr. Ted
gas
Talks.
line?
that's Jackson Cornwood.
Dude, this is
Jackson
literally.
Cornwood.
Dude, this is the Costco gas line. You can't tell me otherwise. People are
kinda
always
is.
waiting the
Costco gas line on a Saturday
Dude,
afternoon.
yeah, I swear to gosh.
It all funnels down to like one pump at the end.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
Yeah, this looks horrible.
How does this
I-
one make you feel?
I'm just kind of pissed off. Like I'm like,
There's no escape.
yeah, there's
There's
no
no
escape
escape,
of
You're,
it.
you're stuck.
Like I wonder how long they were in line for.
A minute, dude.
Are we taking the over or under? The over an hour or under an hour?
Oh, over an hour easily.
Okay, but it's like, oh, Kyle, I wasn't done. Hey, okay, hold on, let's keep going with this. Hold on. How long do we think they waited for? Like, we thinking like 3 hours?
No.
I mean, they were stuck, bro.
They were stuck.
They were stuck for a minute.
I need some information.
They're waiting for that
man.
nuke to hit, man.
That is after the new kit. Evac. How many lanes we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I just keep
9,
merging.
10.
I'd see how many
That's
times I can merge.
11.
Huh?
That's 11 lanes of traffic.
Well, yeah, looks like
10 or
this
10.
one splits into
Yeah,
two.
this one splits into
That's
two.
the
right
exit.
here.
That's the
Splits
exit.
into another,
Man.
and that one also splits into two.
Jeez, dude.
All right, so the next thing I have is this is actually like showing the zoning of like what we see in the U.S. typically versus maybe something more like a European city where everything's mixed together. So we're all kind of familiar with this, right? You got like the
Home Depot.
retail store with a huge
Yeah.
parking lot. Then you have
So
the
Kohl's.
office with a huge parking lot.
Okay.
Another huge parking lot. Everything's got a big parking lot. There's like the school, like half the space for the school is just the roads to like have people pick up their kids and all that.
Why is the school next to a retail store? That's what I'm kind of. It's like, why is that? That's such a weird like layout.
So you can get off school and go,
Then just
go
just
spend
hit,
your parents'
I gotta
hard-earned
go hit
money.
up. I gotta go hit
right
up
away.
Kohl's for some khaki pants. You guys wanna come?
I gotta use
come
my
over
Kohl's
after?
cash.
You gotta get this
Expired.
Kohl's cash. Are we doing Old Navy actually? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, it might
You
be an
see
old
that though?
Navy.
You see like schools next to like a strip mall.
I mean, that's how
like-
our high school was. Our high school was pretty close to it.
It was, yeah, right
Yeah.
down the street from the mall.
You go look at a Funko Pops and don't buy them.
Yeah, we go to FYE afterwards. We're like, oh yeah, let me get it. It's like let me get that Deadpool one.
But you see how like with this, everything's mixed together more. So there's like smaller versions of everything everywhere. There's like a lot of smaller stores instead of one massive store with a massive parking lot.
Yes.
Or yeah, so you see like the difference here, like side by side comparison.
Okay, but now let me ask you guys this: which one do you prefer? Which one would you prefer?
I mean, I grew up in something more like this, but I think that in general, this is more like it brings people together more because like if everyone's walking and stuff's closer, then I don't know. You need a car in this, and you don't need a car here.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
like the beauty of it.
So you would. So are you would like walk? I mean, you're a big longboarder, so you can longboard everywhere with that.
I prefer everything to be walkable. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you can longboard everywhere, or you can walk
I
everywhere.
always thought college campuses were really nice. They
Yeah.
make a lot of college campuses really
Yeah.
walkable for students.
That's also what I didn't like about some parts of colleges, because like you have to go. So if you lived off campus, you'd have to drive to a parking lot, pay for parking, or
Yeah.
risk getting a parking ticket just to walk to class, and just to walk to class because they didn't. I don't know.
It's not included in your tuition.
Yeah, it's not. Well, you could get a parking pass, but it was like over $100.
Remember in
Exactly,
high
so
school
it's
when
not
And then they
included.
had limited parking spots, so
Oh, yeah.
you weren't even guaranteed a spot.
I didn't have
Yeah.
I never
So
got
that's
one.
what I was like. I mean, it just made no sense to me. But back to the question, I prefer the one where everything is like walkable and everything like that. Because you imagine a nice summer day, you're walking around with your boys and everything like that. You get to go, you get out of school. Because I mean, I see the purple there, so you get to go to school and you get to go.
The park's
the
right
color
across the
of
street.
The color of school
Exactly.
purple.
The park's
And
right
then
next to the school.
Dude, you see how many
Perfect.
retail stores there are? That's kind of crazy. How many retail stores there are?
Where am I? Well, what if they don't have the Funko Pop? I wanted that one. I gotta get that.
Yeah,
You just go to the other one.
It's
You
like,
just
hey,
walk-
we
you
got,
just
hey, we
walk
got a
next
block.
door.
We got a block over, dude. We can go right over there.
I'm just where the Funko Pops are at, you know.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so that's kind of like you can see how this would be more livable on the right side.
Yeah.
They should level that whole thing and put 3 Walmart supercenters
It should
and
be-
more parking
That's
lots.
what the retails are, Justin.
That's what the
more of
nukes are
this,
for.
Yeah.
more of this, and less of
That's
this.
what the-
Yeah,
Dude.
dude, we need more Walmarts everywhere with massive parking lots.
Block size is
Okay.
important on the left.
Yeah, so Jake, you want to read it?
Oh yeah, sure. Block size is important. On the left is Portland. On the right is Salt Lake City. The bigger the block, the less road you have. So therefore, each road will need to be more busy and wider. I've been working on my reading.
Yeah, so
That's a good job. Hey, give it up for Jake real quick. You know, it's like, there you go.
Stop! You're embarrassing me.
but you see how if there's less like let's like say this building is like the same size as this building, but this building has more roads around it, and this building has less roads around it. So what this leads to is you need like bigger parking lots because there's not as much street parking, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so it's just like this massive square, right? And like if you need to go diagonally, then it's gonna take forever. Whereas this, you could kind of like cut through more efficiently.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's just like I don't know. I thought that was interesting when this guy was talking about that. All right, let's see. Next we got. So this is like, if you wanted to make it safer for people to bike, like what can we? Well, it's like what can we do with like the current scenario to improve? And you see here that what they did is they put a parking spot in between the bike lane and the road, so the cars actually act as a barrier to the bike lane when they park there.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's opposite of what we have.
Exactly. Like what we
Okay.
have is we have a bike lane next to the road, but this is a bike lane that's protected by cars parking.
Well, I like that more.
That's smart.
That's
That is
way
very
smarter
smart.
because I feel like I feel like a lot of people can get into accidents with bikes because the bike lane is just so narrow.
it's
It's
just a
literally
stripe.
just one lane. It's a stripe.
The bike lane's about a foot wide,
Yeah,
and there's a
people
little tiny,
don't- and a
little
lot of
tiny
it-
stripe in between you
I
and
love driving
traffic.
the bike lane, man.
I love driving in the bike lane.
I stay in the bike lane.
I don't know.
Dude, that's the
I have-
express lane. What are you guys talking about? That's the
That's
express
the
lane.
express lane.
I didn't know it was a bike lane.
Whenever I need to get somewhere faster, I drive in the bike lane.
I have big beef with people on bikes, but I think this would bring more unity. You know what I mean? Because every time I see someone bike, I'm like, dude, you're ruining my day. Like, I'm scared I'm gonna kill you.
Okay,
Like,
but hey,
you're scared
wanna
you're gonna
hate
die.
Jake, think
Yeah.
about this though. When you go on a bike ride, say with your wife or something like that,
Never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. That's a lie.
That's a pipe
That is
dream.
an absolute lie because you both own bikes, and I've known you guys to go on bike
That's
rides.
just for
you guys are
aesthetics. I just show
lying.
everyone when it comes to my
You
house
guys are
on a bike,
lying because
yeah, I
there are
don't use
pictures
it.
of there's photo evidence of
Yeah, I
this.
have to get evidence and lie to people and tell them I ride bikes.
So
I don't know how.
what you're saying is you ruin people's day because you bike.
Yeah, you do.
So you just
If you're biking on the road, like you're scared you're gonna die, and the person's scared they're gonna kill you.
Also, I also don't understand this. Why is it illegal or why would you get a ticket to bike on the sidewalk?
Because they need to get rid of them, dude. The U.S. hates people on bicycles.
Yeah, you gotta kill him.
There's an anti-bicycle agenda.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
You gotta get
Like
a bigger
biking
picture,
on the
man.
side, I'm gonna get a ticket for doing something safer than biking on the road.
The American economy is funded by cool cars, and bikes and bikes ruin that
Funded by
beautiful
Jeeps,
pipe
dude.
dream.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Funded
to
by
me.
Jeep Wranglers.
You see what?
American economy.
Ford Explorers all over. I don't know.
I think I have more slides about this, but what some cities are doing. Let's see. Yeah, here actually the next slide is this.
That's smart.
They're taking a road that's like a 4-lane road or something, and they're actually adding in this feature. So this is a different angle. This is like what you can before and after.
That would be smart.
So
That's
one of the
very-
one of the
That's really
cheapest
nice.
ways
Almost
to
ingenious.
like one of the cheapest ways to like improve the situation is to just add different striping to the road. Because
Yeah.
you can like if you can talk about like tearing up the whole roads and everything, but it's like what's like a quick solution to make things better, you know, for like the short term. And yeah, you can do this. You see how like you get this big improvement by just like
And it's
making
free
them
parking. Everybody loves free parking.
exactly, yeah.
Also, it just looks better. Like
It does.
aesthetically, like it just looks better.
I guess it's
That's
also
a really good
Also,
idea.
it's
That's
different
like
fall,
seasons.
that
Yeah,
was
it's in
the
a
different
huge
seasons
improvement
too.
without doing a whole lot.
Exactly.
put the
All you're doing
leaves
is
back on the
painting.
trees.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Painting
the
the
government
road.
put the leaves
So
back on
sometimes
the
when I'm in the bike lane,
They added
I
new
always
trees
wish
with leaves on
that
'em.
there would be trees in between the bike lane and the road. But this one takes out that whole expense of doing that, of remodel or like renovate or remodeling the whole highway.
Just add some paint, bro.
I'd rather hit a tree than a
Add some
car.
stripes.
Add a good coat of paint, you're good, dog.
Also, like this in this presentation, they were talking about how when there's street parking in front of a business, it raises like their revenue a ton. So any business owner along here would have their revenue raised because people can park right. Obviously, they can here too, but
That's
let's say
nice.
you had a road without any parking on it and you switched it to this
Yeah.
Is it free parking on weekends though? That's the true question.
on Sundays.
They should put
Only on
5G
Sundays?
towers
Alright.
in between the cars and the bikes.
Okay, so right here, there's some buffered bike lane before and after. Okay, so car volume and trip times didn't change. So the same amount of people got through the road, and the trip times didn't change. But there's less injuries, less speeding, and the number of cyclists tripled.
So it's only positives.
Only positives, exactly.
So only
Positives
positives.
no
across
one's-
the board.
If you just pay for the paint to repaint it, which yeah, I'm sure costs some money, but like look at what you get from that.
How much is a bucket of paint? Someone Google
Exactly,
that.
bro.
Depends what kind
We
of
could do this to all of our highways
So-
ourselves.
So
there's some paint at work. The fireproof paint's like
vigilante group.
You act like the government don't got that type of
Restructuring
money.
the road systems.
Yeah.
I mean, actually they don't, but
Just get me out there with a paintbrush and I'll get it done, dude.
you gotta have a bike though, Jake. You have to have a bike while you do it.
I don't know how to ride a bike.
Okay, so here's something that makes bad roads, right? There's a concept that edges being curved makes the driver feel safer going faster. So this intersection's already bad enough. I mean, look at this.
I hate it.
But on top
I'm
of
just
that,
confused.
because there's no hard rights, people are gonna go through it much faster.
And birds must be so confused all the time looking down, dude.
Like this is like a park. No one wants to be here.
And no
dude.
one wants to be there.
I do.
That's dead zone.
I do always feel so bad for the section of tree that's just
Right in the middle.
you know that
Road.
thing's full of garbage, you know?
Yeah. There's like a trash bin, like right here and right here.
You know, there's a city planner that was really proud of this.
Yeah, they're like, this is beautiful.
Like, let's add
This is
some green
beautiful,
here.
man.
Just because it looks good from a drone shot doesn't mean that it like works good in real
It's
life.
like, hey, right next to this huge pothole that we're not gonna fit, let's put a green tree here and then have a bunch of trash over
Can you
it.
pronounce the name of that street right there to the bottom? Up right there.
I can't even read.
Who wants to
that.
try that?
I can't read, so
Alexandrine Kutu.
that's pretty good.
Alexandrine Kutu Street.
I think it's good.
Jake, you have been working on your reading.
I told you, I ain't messing around, dude.
So here's another example of a terrible intersection.
Dude, there's just too many lines. There's just too many lines. I don't know what
Lines.
I don't even know what's like. I don't even know where to go.
If you're trying to go from like here or to like over here,
You
like,
can't merge.
What do
You
you
can't
do?
merge it all.
you're,
Dude.
trying-
What
you're
do
trying
you
to
do?
get
Dude,
here.
what's
and
the
you're
thing on the
starting
top
here.
right? What's on the top right? What is that?
What?
It looks
Right
like
here.
it looks like a horse racing track. Like it's just like going in a circle. You're like, what? I'm so confused.
Well, so if you turn left here, do you go into here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you would.
No,
go,
I think it's a
wait,
one way.
well, no, yeah, because that
Oh,
one
you
right
turn-
there.
These
Is-
cars are going this way.
This is giving me a headache.
These cars. Where do you turn when you go left here?
my anxiety is spiking.
My anxiety is spiking.
This
right
can't be
now.
real.
Okay.
I ain't reading all that.
We ain't reading, dog. Next.
I don't
Well,
know.
we could do popcorn and just switch off every sentence.
Everyone has a reading
Yeah,
chicken.
I only
You
got
guys
one
are-
sentence in
Jesse,
me.
you want to tag team it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Then they don't want to read.
I ain't reading, man.
They can't read. I can't read. I couldn't read up until last year.
All right. In economics, induced demand related to latent demand and generated demand is the phenomenon whereby an increase in supply results in a decline in price and an increase in consumption. In other words, as a good or service becomes more readily available and mass-produced, the price goes down and consumers are more likely to buy it. So, Justin, jump in transportation planning right here.
Oh, yeah. Oh. In transportation planning, induced demand, also called induced traffic or consumption of road capacity, has become important in the debate over the expansion of transportation systems and is often used as an argument against increasing roadway traffic capacity as a cure for congestion. Induced traffic may be a contributing factor to urban sprawl. I like that term.
Sprawl.
Urban sprawl. City planner Jeff Speck has called induced demand the great intellectual black hole in city planning.
If I stop there.
Okay.
The great intellectual black hole in city planning.
Is the city of Denver an urban sprawl?
I'd say it's an urban sprawl. I mean, look at the suburbs. It's just like a bunch of like grids.
Keeps
with, like,
going
huge roads.
on and on.
But yeah, I mean, basically, like what they're saying though is that the more roads you build, the more people drive. So like, you know, if you build something like this, then it's gonna make more people want to drive and need to drive.
Right.
Whereas if you build this, less people will have to drive and want to drive.
I
They
mean,
just
living in the right side, that would be ideal. You have everything you need within walking distance.
Where's the housing?
Exactly.
I didn't even realize that earlier. It's like on the
It's
right
just-
picture. Where's the housing?
I mean, it could be anywhere. You know, like it could be like the top floors of like.
I don't know, man. It doesn't say. I don't see it color coded.
Just imagine Uptown Normal, but like everywhere. You know, like in every direction.
fair.
You just have like blocks and blocks of like. Uptown Normal's like an area. It's like a lot of towns have like one street like that. You know,
Yeah.
but it's like we
Bloomington
could
had
have-
it. Bloomington
every
had it.
street could be
Normal
like that.
had
It
it.
could be like that everywhere.
It
Right.
could.
It
There's no
could.
reason not. Why not?
Even when I lived in downtown Denver, I still had to drive to the grocery store,
Exactly.
which shouldn't make sense.
That doesn't
Yeah,
make,
doesn't
that
make any
makes
sense.
0 sense to me.
Okay, so
No sense.
we just talked about. Well, there's also the opposite, which is reduced demand, which is you may have less roads and then less people drive. and like the problem kind of takes care of itself. But what you see here is that so the road's this big, right? And then they widen the road to this big, and they think that like they're gonna take care of the extra traffic. But what actually happens is the traffic just like overcomes like how much they've widened it. So basically, all the extra capacity they create with an extra lane gets just like sucked up.
Yeah, because people just think that if we wider roads, it's like everyone will be able to not have any traffic. We'll just be able to flow through it. But like you said, more people just want to drive.
Exactly. Yeah.
With more wide roads, so everybody just has to get on the highway. Because that's why it's like when I'm going to work, I have to take the highway. And everybody takes the highway.
Exactly.
It's like it's always the fastest way, unfortunately, too. I mean, you can take the back roads, but it's like it's just longer.
There's more stops on
more
back roads.
stoplights, there's more stop signs and everything like that. But I mean, when you take into account how long traffic is and everything, it can honestly add up to be out at the same time, too.
Well, so imagine they add an extra lane. Some of the people that currently are taking the back roads will just start taking the highway.
We just don't need that. Like, I don't understand.
I agree, we do not need it.
I just don't understand why some cities just have to have, like, let me put, like, 8 lanes on this. Like, on the freeway. It's like, that just doesn't make any sense to
It's
me.
a quick solution to a problem, I guess.
It's like a, I don't know. It's like a Band-Aid on just...
Over
like
a
when a
gaping wound.
Yeah.
It is kind of like a Band-Aid.
It's just like, let's just slap a Band-Aid on it. This will stop the bleeding.
Add a couple more lanes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just add another lane, we'll be all right.
It's like duct taping up a leak in a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of water is getting in.
Yeah.
Not as much as before.
Seriously.
But it's still a problem.
Okay, so
This looks nice.
I made this a little while ago. It's like just a graphic I found.
Wait, you
somewhere.
made this?
No, I made the.
Oh,
I made the
I was like,
presentation.
Kyle.
Yeah, so this is just another example of like transforming. So you have a road with a sidewalk, and you can create a sidewalk, a bike lane, a tram system, and one lane.
Okay.
Right. So you can do this. Like, this is obviously more drastic than just adding new lines to the road, but like you can take what's already there and then put down some tracks and then paint it different, and you can get like this whole other more like this is like what like 16th Street or something. Think about that. Like it could have been like a 4-lane road before, and then you make it a 1-lane road with the tram, and I don't know. So yeah, you just and the capacity goes up. Is what's shown right here. Is that actually more people can go through it throughout the day with this setup.
So what is your thoughts on public transportation?
Public transportation.
What do you guys think about like the train system?
I'd use it if it was more convenient.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, in some cities,
just
it's
more
super
convenient to drive a car.
In some cities, it's super convenient. Like Chicago, I feel like New York.
Yeah, Chicago has a
I feel like
great
it's
train
probably
system.
really good. Yeah, Chicago has a really good one, but
the ones in Denver are all right. I mean, it's just.
Well,
it just takes too long. There's not enough stops. Yeah.
It's good when you're near downtown, but if you're not,
it's not.
Then
yeah.
It's like right now to get to the bus, I probably have to go stand by like a road where it comes by every 15 or 20 minutes max.
This is why you have an app, Kyle. We can check when we can check when the bus is coming.
But it's late because if there's traffic, the bus is also stuck in traffic.
That's also very true. I don't know. Personally, I've never seen the train or like the public transportation going through Denver. And I'm in Denver every day for work, but I've never seen it.
It's there.
Yeah, I see the light rail.
Is it so it's just hidden?
Sometimes
that is like it's just hiding.
It's just not as convenient as driving. Like
that's very true. Yeah, it's just not, which sucks because I'd probably rather take that.
Yeah, if it's an option, it's like why not? But if you have to like. So one of the big jokes is like when you have to drive to take the train.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
You have to drive.
Oh, it's like hold on, you have to call Uber to get to the train station or something like that. It's like, oh great, someone else has to drive me.
That's madness. That's madness.
Also, I don't like how expensive public transportation can get for some people. You know what I'm saying? Like because like
if you just pay for
the train's kind of worth it because you can pay.
The train's worth it, but at the same time, it's like I feel like.
Hey, what with gas, bro? It's like $4 right now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's just getting around without walking. So it's just expensive.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. Let's just start walking everywhere, dude.
Okay, so check this out, right? We have a 4-lane road with and there's people trying to turn left.
Well, okay, never mind.
Oh, we have a 4-lane road and there's people trying to turn left. So look at their sight line. You can see how there could be a car crash if this person's turning left and this car's going full speed and they don't see it behind these 3 cars.
Oh, that's my least favorite turn to make.
Yeah, so
Right.
this is with a 4-lane road. So this is like, so you would think that by getting rid of a lane, it would make the road worse, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm going to show you is that it actually, if you get rid of a lane, it actually makes the road better. Because you're going from a 4-lane road to a 3-lane road. And we talked about that the painted bike lanes aren't great,
Yeah.
but you can see that you actually, with one middle lane and only 2 lanes, so 1 lane on each side versus 2 lanes on each side, it's actually safer for everybody because this guy isn't going to get hit, and then...
You have a lot more visibility.
Exactly.
Alright, is it just me, or is it when you have to turn, like, left, do you feel like you feel bad for, like, the people behind you? Because it's like, there's so much traffic coming this way, you have to just kind of wait. In this scenario, I feel awful because I'm like, oh, great, they're going to be waiting for, like, 5 minutes because there's so much traffic, and I have to turn. And then sometimes you're just like, there's a couple times where I'm like, I'm just not going to turn here. I just feel so bad because the traffic is so backed up.
I 100% agree, and there is a solution. The solution is actually to get rid of a lane, which most people would be like, well, that would mess the road up. It's like, no, dude, this would make it better for everybody.
Yeah. You could actually see the cars coming from when you need to turn.
Exactly, yeah. So, that's an interesting concept.
It is like the most infuriating thing ever when you like gotta turn right and the guy in front of you isn't turning right. They just sitting there.
Oh, you're talking about like a stoplight.
You know what I mean? Like he's just not turning right, and like you have to turn right. It's like, dude, just go right for me. Just be.
Do it for me, please.
Do it for me.
Do it for me.
Okay, so this is the effects of this. It went so a road like this to this. I guess these are some stats, and instead of one injury every 9 days, it's 1 injury every 30 days. From that change.
That's a pretty big improvement.
It is.
The numbers add up.
Okay, so the myth of pedestrian infrastructure. So this is talking about trying to build walking infrastructure when everything's set up for cars and how it just doesn't work. So I'll just read this quick. Big money pedestrian projects are often remedial and performative. Their real purpose is to serve faster car traffic. So spending money on like bridges and stuff for people to walk over is really just facilitating cars going faster is what it's saying, you know? Mm-hmm. So here's an example of that. And we don't need to read the whole thing, but you can see here that instead of letting people cross the road, you have to walk all the way up, all the way over, and then all the way down the zigzagging the path, right? So to get from here to here, you need to walk up, over. So this is literally turning 20 seconds of walking across the street.
So 5 minutes.
Into like 5 minutes.
Yeah, seriously.
Walking a quarter mile.
And then obviously we're all younger and everything, but there's people that are older and think about it. You go to the
if you have
intersection.
groceries, that would be awful.
Yeah, if you have
man.
groceries, you have to carry up this huge ramp over this whole thing.
And imagine you can't get it all at once. That's nuts. Could not be me, but it's
you gotta go over this multiple times in one day.
it's like also if you think about it, a lot of bigger places also do this. I feel like a place that would do this is like a resort. You know, like a resort for Disney or something like that. They'd make people walk the most obnoxious ways.
Go ahead,
Just because they have so much traffic coming through and everything like that it's kind of just feeding them and through a different way. But then that place, imagine that there's so many people walking through there that place gets backed up. So it's it just takes forever people just to even walk that far.
Exactly. I mean, this take forever. Imagine walking
it just
this
doesn't.
far.
It just doesn't make any logical sense.
It's just I don't know. Basically, we just spit in the face of anyone that wants to walk. So the engineering firm that built the crossing describes it as having a Mediterranean Italian style.
Whoa.
It tells it's highly decorative, safety enclosure, and decorative cladding
It's kind
walls.
of an Italian mindset.
It's kind of Mediterranean.
Okay, so basically what we have here is a street view image where it shows that people are still using the crosswalk and not using it.
Yeah,
because it takes forever.
Who would use it? What do people want to go up there and take a picture? Is that it?
Of the road,
Like,
dude.
you want to take a picture of the road?
Of the huge road.
Yeah, it's like the bridge in Denver, Kyle, the one that you absolutely love.
Oh yeah.
You make us stop at all the time when we go there.
It's
I
beautiful.
feel like
dude.
there's so much traffic and it's so loud and so windy and we just have to scream at each other.
The road infrastructure upsetness doesn't stop at the podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It bleeds into their life.
It goes into it affects our everyday lives if we really think about it.
This is hurting us.
I'm trying to get into the Italian mindset and go up on that thing, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome.
A Decker.
I feel like I'm in an Italian villa when I
Whenever I see one of those, I'm
just
in
want
an
to eat a
Italian
cannoli
villa.
on top of that.
This is what an Italian villa feels like, dude. An overpass.
Where is this?
That,
Where is
that
this?
luxurious Italian feel.
It's in like
Orlando?
Florida or something.
See that?
Yeah.
It's like Orlando.
I see, like I said, resort kind of thing. I feel like
Lake Mary, Florida.
Oh yeah,
Lake
Florida.
suburb of Orlando.
Okay, here's another one.
Whoa.
This one's wild.
Why is
dude.
it? Why does it look like?
Man, come on, man.
What?
Can,
That doesn't make
can you
any
imagine,
sense.
like, you're in a wheelchair and you pull up to that and you have to go uphill?
That's
you're
That's
not
nuts.
making it across that highway.
Because like they have codes where it's like you can't make the grade too steep.
That's true.
You know, so bro,
facts.
look at this.
That's nuts.
You have to go. Dude, this is big too. Like it
Heels
doesn't
and
do it
escalators,
justice.
bro.
Like, look at how small that car looks compared to this thing. You'd be walking for forever to get up that.
Where you go? It's like going from a
Yeah,
dirt
where's
road
it go?
to a dirt road.
Yeah.
It's probably just
What?
a
It's going
trail
to?
or
It's like
something.
going to a parking lot or something.
I
It's
don't
probably
know.
to a trail.
I think he said something about it up here.
I wonder what future civilizations are going to think of this.
This is $4 million, dude.
$4 million.
$4 million for
Well, I
that.
gotta take a lunch break, guys.
My goodness.
All right, so
Jeez.
this is disgusting.
Sickening.
Next.
Sickening.
Okay, so here's another example of a solution.
Sick fit.
What this is a raised crosswalk, and it not only is it like a speed bump, but what it does is it signifies to drivers subconsciously that they're on the level of the pedestrians, not the pedestrians being on the level of them.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so it is a speed bump, but it's also like a subconscious thing that like you should watch out for people here, and
Yeah.
you might hit someone if you don't pay attention. You know.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting.
it'll-
Yeah, and people generally slow down over speed bumps like that.
Yeah, and it's not even really a speed bump. You can go pretty fast
Uh-huh.
over this. It's not super steep. That's not even like the point. You know, it's just like it is a speed bump, but it's like more. It's more than that.
Uh-huh.
It's more. It's deeper.
It's
It's
definitely
deeper.
an
It's a little
attention
deeper than
catcher.
that.
It's not skin. It's more than skin deep.
It's deeper than that, dude. Okay, so yeah, the takeaway is that real pedestrian infrastructure is like this, and it's about making it. It's not catering to the car. The car is the first class citizen here, and the car is the second class citizen to the people walking around.
That's
in this
the post
scenario.
World War II U.S. suburb, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's
The
beautiful.
nuke really
The nuke-
ruined everything.
So what we're saying basically is that walking is just the way of the future.
I
Walking
think
is
it's
the way
more
of the future.
convenient, you know.
It's
The-
healthier
Or
too.
Yeah, it's
or
healthier.
that we do the thing from Futurama where they just put pipes everywhere.
Oh,
which is-
dude,
that would
I
be-
always think we should
That'd
do
be
that.
sick.
But
That-
that idea, maybe pull that up, Kyle. Maybe pull the Futurama pipe system real quick. But can
This
you
is
think
real
about this?
walking
Like, because the
restriction.
tubes, everybody's using that tube. How do you clean them? What if someone throws up?
That's a good point.
What if someone
That's
throws
a
up in
good
the
point.
tube? You know.
Is it throw up in the pipe?
That's a good point. But
Oh my
the
gosh, I can't type right
Futurama
now.
pipe system it makes sense. It kind of makes sense.
The Statue of Liberty is like holding the pipe.
There's just tubes everywhere, and they just go
Dude,
around.
it just I don't know. It
It's
just
been proven to work.
it's proved to work. Futurama.
time-tested environment.
Time-
It's like
tested.
Futurama went on for I think 9 seasons. It
Look,
made
that could,
sense.
That could be us.
That
could be us going
That could
through
be
the
us
tube.
in Denver, dude. Can you imagine bar hopping with that? That's nuts.
Imagine throwing up in that. Like you're right behind me, and then you catch somebody throw up, and it's just a chain reaction.
I want to go to my 9 to 5 in a tube every morning.
It doesn't sound bad.
See, that
dude.
doesn't sound bad,
Air
dude.
conditioning.
Does it? It doesn't sound bad.
See, but I feel like we could eventually find a way to like
To tube it up.
to tube it up
Tube.
and eventually like learn to clean them.
That's a lot of
You should put like a big pipe cleaner down in.
Yeah, there you
Honestly,
go.
yeah. Or you could shut it
fourth.
down. Imagine shutting it down overnight and then you just send a huge tube cleaner through it. That you see,
Dump
okay.
Drano down the whole
It's
thing.
like actually we're walking is not the future. The tube.
The
way
tube is the
The tube
future.
is the future.
1, 2,
Instead
3,
of highways,
2.
it's tube ways.
It's the tubes, dude.
I think
Tubes.
that's where we,
Imagine if the tube's backed up. There's too many people.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna become just like highways.
Dude, yeah, it's gonna, wait, let's just add another tube. Let's just add another tube.
Let's make the tube wider.
Smell farts all day in that tube.
All right, everybody. Well, I think that's where we end this episode. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
I love you.
Bye,
Thanks for coming.
guys. We'll see you at the next episode.